Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Algo and just kind of see what's going on with Algorand. We actually sent out a nice swing trade signal here recently with my community. We were up almost 25%, soon to hit our profit target. Really cool stuff here, and I'm looking forward to kind of helping you understand why I took the trade in the first place, and also very much so understanding big picture and best practice if you are new to the channel, right? Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade, so I hope you can learn something here today. My goal and my passion is to teach you to become better traders, more self-sufficient. So if you want that self-sufficiency, check my community out. Of course, I provide a trading academy and community, whereas I teach you how to trade with a series of private videos there, as well as a signal group to help you understand how to structure your trades effectively. That's both swing trades and day trades, and those are automatic follow if you would like to consider that. Of course, I prefer you to kind of manually insert your own trades so you learn how to become a better trader, right? That's the whole premise of this. So check that out in your own time, CryptoCache.tech. Now here's kind of what's going on with the Algo. And actually to kind of rewind a little bit as to why I took the trade in the first place, or just generally kind of the concept as to why I expected this to break out. A lot of coins are performing a similar function, and they're breaking out as well, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say easy to identify, but generally speaking, it's not that hard, because when the price is coming down, you see this descending type of pattern, right? You can see this descending trend line. Because first of all, you need to understand there's three different types of trends in trading. There's descending trading, there's channel trading, and ascending trading. In other words, descending trading here can be the most difficult to navigate in a sense, because of the fact that if you're a long trader, so to speak, you're not really finding a lot of opportunity. It's hard to kind of pick these little moments there. So the best thing to do is kind of avoid altogether and or potentially consider shorting. That being said, that's the lowest success rate for a traditional long type of trader. Then there's, of course, channel trading, which essentially just goes sideways, and this is just a poor example, but just kind of giving you an idea where the price goes sideways within a specific channel, and it ranges from top to bottom, where you effectively buy low, sell high, right? Just keep rinsing and repeating that action. That's essentially another also trading technique or time frame that works very well, and that is what we've been doing basically as a community for the last 2 months with Bitcoin. We've basically been range trading. Now there's now the trend has changed, right? Where we got this breakout / ascending type of trading pattern, and that's where you get the most profit. You're the highest success rate in that regard. And that being said, that kind of touches on here. Now, when it comes to this here, if you look at this again, this is pretty long and drawn out, but just generally speaking, when you see this type of ascending pattern forming, more specifically, you'll see that on the 4 hour, but in the general sense of the word here, when you see an ascending type of pattern occurring, the price continues to come up, doesn't come lower than that ascending pattern. This is only touched twice technically, but that's because it jumped up and did very good here. That being said, when you see that kind of gives you an indication that, hey, the momentum has shifted, right? We're going up instead of down. Now, a lot of times you'll see channel trading more so a lot before or in between, but in this case, it's coming up a lot sooner. That being said, that's another sign of reversal. So the fact of the matter is, right around here is when I sent out the signal, because the fact that the price came up to test its recent resistance here at around 85 cents, and then came back down and got rejected. And that's fairly synonymous with this here as well. So a lot of times the most recent high, as soon as you break above the most recent high, that'll give you the indication that you are breakout trading, essentially because the price broke out above a key level resistance. Okay. So again, a myriad of little factors, but generally speaking, you want to identify what type of trend that you're in. And generally speaking, you don't want to try to trade in a downward market. You want to trade with the bulls in an upward market. It's just so much easier, if that makes sense, right? Again, for long trading specifically, inverse applies to shorting as well, okay? But that's kind of how that works. Okay, so that kind of came to, that's kind of where we're at. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other stuff here just so you understand. We're over 50 and under 70 on the R side, getting close to 70 though, so we could experience a pullback or a retracement soon. We are experiencing a pullback now, but that's because Bitcoin is essentially reducing in volume. It came up to about 45,000, got rejected. Fairly, I wouldn't say fairly strong, but that was a point in which we have a lot of resistance. It's a resistance channel between 44.5 and 46,000. Watch my Bitcoin video so you know what I'm talking about, but that is very similar here in the sense where we probably would have hit this profit target today if Bitcoin hadn't pulled back. but it's necessary for Bitcoin to pull back right now because it's been on a tear recently, and we could expect another couple days of consolidation, quite possibly this weekend. Right? So we could experience the same thing from Algorand, but keep in mind, this has increased quite significantly compared to Bitcoin. So it's, if you were to kind of compare it and kind of put them side to side, Algorand is outperforming Bitcoin in the general sense of the word. Okay, that is an extremely good sign. That's something you want to try to look for. So that to me tells me we're going to probably hit this signal regardless of how much Bitcoin pulls back, as long as it doesn't pull back lower than 42,200, which I'm expecting as a potential, support level here essentially for Bitcoin. All right, so again, all good stuff there in that sense. If we look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at the, first of all, we're above both moving averages, and this is really quick, just something to touch on. I've highlighted it before, but the 50-day SMA has a tendency of working concurrent with your trend lines. So if you can see here, this trend line is progressing upwards. So is the 50-day SMA. It's effectively working as a support level, holding the price action higher. We had this little golden cross here occur as well. So really good stuff there in that sense. We can see the RSI is a little high for right now for my liking. I don't love an RSI over 70 on the 4 hour, and you can see every time previously it's been able to correct itself, calm down a little bit, and then continue to progress back upwards. So we could expect a very similar type of pattern soon, which could imply the price would consolidate between 90 and 92 cents for the next 24 to 48 hours, and then leg up again from there. That's quite a possibility. MACD is still converging, so to speak, so we have no need to concern ourselves there, but there's no doubt that it's been on the overextended side. And taking a look at overextension, in fact, let's go ahead and take a look here. There's something to acknowledge. We came up to a 9 on TD sequential, so 36 hours of continuation, possibly even 40, and then we see this straight sideways action. Price comes up, comes down to test that key level resistance, now a support. So 90 cents is kind of reaffirming itself as a strong support level. So the likelihood of the price coming down below 90 cents is fairly low. However, if we were to lose that, there's another key level support here at about 85 cents. So if the price were to say to come back down here, we should expect it to hold at 85 is the absolute worst case. So I'd say $86, sorry, dollars, that'd be nice. 86 cents would be a good DCA target, as well as adding to position closer to 90. I think the likelihood of one of those two things happening in the near future is fairly high, but once again, it should be short-lived. This is a nice momentous trend to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. The price cannot get any lower than 85 cents, right? So once again, we want to keep these higher lows happening in order for the higher highs to continue as well. All right. So generally speaking, that's kind of what we're looking at there. So all good stuff here for Algorand. The 4 hour looks fantastic. Let's see what the 1 hour is telling us. Probably going to tell us a little bit more about that turnaround, which we see right now with this red candle. That is essentially Bitcoin coming from 45,000 to 44,200. That dip is effectively influencing Algorand, because you got to understand, Bitcoin had a very similar type of breakout pattern here. It went straight sideways and then it came up. Algorand's doing the same thing, but it's just a little more overextended in that sense. So we could expect, again, pullback. I would say 90 cents is more likely. Ichimoku Cloud says we still want to keep our position open. No concern there at all. We're seeing that a lot on other coins. We're at a 5 right now, so we could see 4 or 5 more hours of push to the upside. I think that's less likely, but if it were to continue, we might see this next upper Fibonacci of 97 cents get tested. There's potential there. I don't think it's likely, but it could happen. I think it's more likely to see a pullback to 90 cents and or 85 in the immediate future, and then a leg up from there to effectively continue our higher highs and higher lows, and to essentially maintain this ascending pattern. And if you want to get a little tighter too, we literally could do that, because this is ascending a little more aggressively. So we could literally do this here and see the fact that the price is actually moving up in this regard, and we could experience a price break to the upside here soon to shoot past 96. All right, again, just something to kind of consider, but generally speaking, Algorand's in good shape. There's no reason to consider the sky is falling. We're not there yet. I would say that the likelihood of these more recent 85 to 90 cent support levels is very high. They're probably going to hold, just based on the amount of volume we're seeing in those price points. In fact, let's touch on the volume really quick. This is approximately let's go with the first of the year. Where are we at? Here we go, 2022. All right. So in this sense here, look at how much volume we have below the current price point. Okay, tremendous amount of volume profile here. So that's really important to see that, because that's a very, very strong consideration for the big picture. And if we do look at the big picture, of course, you'll see definitely a gap here in between, right? But that strong foundation here is going to lead to increases here. Okay, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but in general, when you have the more volume of accumulation you have, the more it's going to work as a support if it's below the price action, and it's going to work more so as a resistance when it's above. So just keep in mind, we bridge this gap, we start moving upwards. 140 will probably be a point of contention here, where we probably see some type of resistance right at this range. But between now and then, we've got low volume, so therefore we have more room to grow. Okay, because as you can see previously, it's skipped. It's pretty much skipped this time frame here at this price point. So Algorand is not familiar with 107 to 130. It's not really sure what to do there. So in turn, that's how you can see a parabolic type of increase or a very strong increase once we break that key level, volume resistance, which is roughly at about 103. All right, so again, just some things to kind of consider. That's just big picture stuff, but generally speaking right now, 85 to 90 cents is a very strong likelihood for a pullback. If it continues upwards, we could see some resistance at about 96. One of those two things will happen. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down, right? That's kind of the comedic relief we have sometimes in our community. It's like, okay, well, there's one or two things that are going to happen. Anyways, enough about that. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you learned something here today, of course. If you want to become a better trader, I highly implore you to check out my trading academy, which is through my website, CryptoCache.tech. I provide you with really good resource and fundamental, more so the mindset of being a good trader rather than even just all this stuff here. Of course, I cover all the TA as well, but TA is more than just finding these numbers and jumping in, right? If you're an emotional mess or just say you're an unhealthy person, you're not going to find the same results as somebody that is a little more physically and mentally sound, right? So work on those things too. I know it sounds weird, but there's a mindset of psychology of trading that you really need to understand that factors into this greatly. And those are also things I teach. I also send out signals for every trader that I take too. So I hope you can learn and benefit greatly from that. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. See you next one.